Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Point After Podcast, episode 9. We are your hosts, Caleb and Jay. How we doing, my man? You all right? It's a beautiful Sunday today, man.
Yeah, I was having a good Sunday. Actually, this morning, actually helped my mom cook some, potato casserole, had some muffins, some eggs, some strawberries,
That sounds real
you
good.
know. Yeah, it was planning to be an amazing day and it started off really well. But then I decided to turn on my TV at 1:05 p.m. on 7:05, which is CBS, and it was
Right.
the Raiders versus the Chargers, which obviously didn't go as planned.
Hey, it definitely went, you know, one way.
hmm
Give me your initial thoughts, sir. You know what? Matter of fact, let's start the show off like that. Matter of fact, let's start the show off like that. The Raiders Chargers breakdown by Caleb, yours truly. Go on ahead.
Look, yeah, I know you just muted yourself. Look, you can feel free to chime in if you want. Um, this game was hard to watch. I'm gonna be honest. I want to give a big shout out to the Raiders defense, specifically in that first half.
They
Um,
kept y'all in the game, dude. Like there's
yeah,
only so much they can do, but obviously defenses get tired. But they kept y'all in the game.
100%. I wish they did that the last half of the season last year. They allowed 16 points per game last year, the final, 9 games, which was the
Hmm.
fewest in the NFL.
Yeah.
They were the, I believe, third fewest penalized team, excuse me, defensively as well, or just overall penalized as well, the third lowest. Um, and they took that right into this season. Let's start out the game. Max Crosby getting to the quarterback, stopping the run. Christian Wilkins as well. And clearly, those two have already seemingly fit right in together on that front four, and are going to be obviously a nasty pairing, I believe, moving forward. Um, but at the end of the day, this game just comes down to missed opportunities from the Raiders. Their defense came out and was fantastic the first half, but they couldn't capitalize. The amount of times they had um, stops and the ability to push the ball down the field, which they didn't. Some of the play calling, I got to say, by Luke Getzey, which is absolutely atrocious. Like every time it seemed like Devontae caught the ball, he was wide open, which he probably was wide open the entire game.
Yep.
Brock Bowers, a stud. He was phenomenal. Excuse me, week one. Clearly showed the kind of talent that he possesses and the potential that we can be down the line. As like I said episodes ago, an All-Pro tight end. But the play calling,
No, it's definitely bad. And that
bro.
my question was, what are you guys doing on that 4th and 1 there? Why aren't we going for it?
Yeah. Look, I've been a big supporter and you know activist for Antonio Pierce. I'm happy that he got the full time job. I want him to get the full time job. I think he represents exactly what a Raider coach should be. But that 4th and 1, the fact they didn't go for that on near what the halfway line.
It was yeah, no,
Have near
it
it
was
was half. It was in the was it the 40? Was it the 40?
I
Correct.
believe it was the 40 going almost into the territory.
Yeah, for not going on fourth down. I know he has faith in his defense, and I do. I have a lot
Hmm.
of faith in my defense, but
They've been
if you
out
look
there
at
all
that,
game.
yeah, but if you specifically look at that drive, Zamir White had a few rushes where it went for big gains, and I started to feel like, okay, maybe this front seven of the Chargers starting to get a little tired.
Hmm.
So I feel like on that fourth down, all you really needed to do was two tight end personnel, give it to Zamir White up the middle, and he would got that first down because he was
Hmm.
doing that on that drive to that point.
Yep.
Um, to you to kick a field goal when you basically already need a touchdown to win the game, was quite frankly, it was shocking. I mean, there's nothing other way to describe it. I saw Damian Lillard's post on Twitter. Effing Raiders, man. I don't want to curse respectfully.
Hey, I could bleep it out. I could always bleep it
I,
out. Yeah. You got the
I,
editing. You got the editing guy here. I could always bleep it
nah,
out.
nah, but that's just how we feel,
Especially,
man.
hey man,
Because
especially when my Niners lose, y'all gonna hear something. So
yeah, man.
it was
I
a
really
tough one
want to,
today.
bro. But this is so tough, man. Like as a
Like I
Raider
said, you
fan,
could.
yeah, bro. I'm whatever, bro. I'm honestly as a Raider fan, man. I'm just chilling here, and I'm just like, I get it. Jim Harbaugh, his first game back in the NFL. Justin Herbert is his quarterback. They said it was a home game. No, it wasn't. It was a home game for the Raiders. It wasn't a home game for the Chargers. I mean, you saw how it was out there. Everyone in the stadium was wearing silver and black.
They're a good amount of Chargers fans though. I'm
No,
not
there
gonna
was
lie.
not. I didn't see a single blue jersey.
Relax.
But for the look, the offensive line I felt was shaky. I think they didn't. I didn't think they played up to par as they could. Not having Jackson Powers Johnson there, he was hurt. I think that definitely affected the offensive line in the interior. Obviously, Colton Miller was matched up with Khalil Mack, and Colton Miller is one of the best, but also Khalil Mack is one of the best as well, and he beat him a few times. But the offensive line definitely deserves some criticism. The play calling with Luke Getsy definitely deserves some criticism. I don't know what was going on really throughout that game. Antonio Pierce now 4th and 1. That's a question. And the most important thing is quarterback. Look, I thought Gardner Minshew made a few good throws. He made a few. I like how he escaped the pocket a few times and wanted to run and wanted to not just sit there like a duck. But at the end of the day, clearly, even just game one, and it's game one, but he clearly showed, I think, the limitations of what he is. And this, like I said, this Raiders team kind of reminds me of the Jets the last few years, where their defense is going to keep them in games. It's going to be close, but at the time when you need your quarterback to make big throws, to make big plays, to make that throw, we quite frankly just don't have that quarterback. And until we get that, I think this is going to be a Raider team where if we make the playoffs, hooray, like awesome. But if you're looking at realistically, my team is 7-10, 8-9, because the phrase "defense wins championships" is like defense will keep you in games, but
I
when
don't
it
win no
comes down to it,
championships no more.
you have to make plays. You have to make the throws. You know, the Chiefs have an amazing defense, but what have we seen time and time again from Patrick Mahomes? Even if he struggles throughout the game at times, he makes throws when he needs to.
Mhm.
Same thing with Joe Burrow, same thing with Josh Allen, same thing with these elite quarterbacks. Like they can have subpar games throughout the game, but when they need to deliver, 9 out of 10 times they deliver. And I just think right now, since we don't have that kind of quarterback, I just think these are the kind of games we're gonna have from time to time, especially with a team that I just feel like we're better than. Like at the end of the day, I mean, Lam McConkey, who I'm high on, I think he can be a good player down the line. But right now, I mean, as a wide receiver number one, like, come on. I mean, Quentin Johnson. I mean,
Still dropping
shout out.
passes.
Yeah, well, one big shout out that I want to give out to the Chargers is J.K. Dobbins. He was
They look good.
fantastic, specifically in the second half. He rushed over for 100 yards in the second half with a touchdown. He was phenomenal. He looked like, rookie J.K. Dobbins. He looked like Ohio State J.K. Dobbins. He was phenomenal, man. Hopefully he can stay healthy because if he can add a dimension to this Chargers team that they haven't had. So it sucks. Weekend ends on a sour note, especially with the fact that we're headed to Baltimore next week.
Ooh-wee.
It's definitely looking tough, especially them coming off
And
a
that,
loss.
I was gonna say that's
So,
Baltimore off a loss too. So like, and you going in
you know,
enemy territory with Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's
Yeah,
gonna be a tough one.
and another thing too, like you look at our players on offense. Like I feel like Zamir White was okay today. I don't think he was nothing special. I thought he was okay. Obviously, with Josh Jacobs gone, we're gonna need a lot from him moving forward as that RB1 to balance out the offense, especially with a quarterback like Minshew, who we're gonna need a good running game to open up that play action, open up that middle of the field. I thought Madison obviously caught the touchdown pass from Minshew. Madison is even quicker than I thought. I didn't know he was that
Yeah, it was
fast.
fast. Yeah.
He's an explosive catching back as well. You know, I thought Tay was solid. Um, Jacoby Myers as well. I talked about Brock Bowers. You know, I don't have question about the weapons around the QB. I have
It's the
questions
QB
about
itself.
the man who's throwing to the weapons.
Yeah.
That's the question I have. But look, it's game one. Maybe I'm just speaking heart over head, man. But it sucks because the Chargers. I can't stand the Chargers. The people the way they glaze about the Chargers is just insane.
There's one thing
Um,
I know is that Caleb cannot stand no Chargers. Uh,
yeah, I can't. Even too like every time I know we play the Chargers, especially now, like Khalil Mack is looking to have a dominant game, and it still hurts me to the soul that he is not a Raider. I mean, he should have been a Raider forever, man. But yeah, Khalil was fantastic. Joey as well. Joey Bosa was solid. Derwin James made a few plays as well. So yeah, Raiders are 0-1. It looks like same old, man. Defense is gonna play their heart out until they get tired because the offense can't score points. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I'm in a damper mood because it's Sunday. It's the evening. I'm looking to chill and relax. Now I'm on here on a podcast talking about the Raiders losing to the Los Angeles Chargers. Whatever, man.
you know what? I'm gonna take my depressed friend over here and segue into the Chiefs versus the Ravens. That was the Thursday night game. Is that right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Chiefs coming out with the win, 27-20. Mahomes, I would say, had a decent game, right? Like it wasn't his best game, but he made some great throws. And at the end of the day, they got the win. But I do want to talk about Lamar real quick. Are we gonna finally have this discussion of him like not hitting these late game throws, or what's going on here? What's going on here, brother? I'm gonna get into some other stuff about this game, but I just want to talk about that real quick.
Look, Lamar Jackson is a two-time MVP. He is, in my opinion, if you want to put Tyreek as far as the most dynamic player in football, him or Tyreek Hill, 1A, 1B.
Mm.
Shout out to Tyreek. We'll talk about him later, but that touchdown dance he did afterward, dude's a dude, yeah, he's a menace. I think with Lamar Jackson, the way that team runs their offense, it's really kind of unlike any others in the NFL right now because even though Lamar Jackson, I think, is a good pocket passer, he's naturally a guy who likes to make stuff happen on the fly, whether he's rolling out, whether it's an option. He likes to be outside of the pocket and in constant movement. And I think, obviously, too, when he loves using his legs, I think when it comes to receivers, I'm not sure if wide receivers like the elite of the elite are going to want to be in a system where they know that, yes, Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback because what he brings to the table all around. But Lamar Jackson isn't someone who is going to like sit there, dissect, and look for open guys. Like if he doesn't see his guys, boom, he's taking off, or boom, he's moving out. So I think the way the Ravens, like for them to get where they want to go, like I think Derrick Henry is a solid pickup for them because he gives them obviously with his rushing ability and what he's done throughout his career. But the main thing is his Ravens offensive line. That is going to be for me the key for this team because defensively, the Ravens are really good. They got players at all levels of the field, but
Mm.
Their offensive line looks like real concerning for me. And with a quarterback like Lamar, I think offensive line is important to maximize his abilities to stay in the pocket and not tend to his instincts of being able to take off. And I think with a poor offensive line, I think Lamar leans to his natural instinct and his habits to just take off, run, or not, what I'm saying, like not go through his complete progressions. So I
Mm.
think Lamar is okay. I think they can win with Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that. Like you can win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson, but in the way that I think the offensive line is literally the most important team for this Ravens team. If they don't have an offensive line, they're going to win games. They'll probably win their division, but AFC divisional round, they'll probably maybe get to a conference championship again. But I mean, and plus look at their weapons. Like Mark Andrews, I love him, All Pro. I mean, he was a non-factor Thursday because he had to sit back and block because the offensive line wasn't doing good. And now obviously likely had a
Yeah.
great game.
And
But
no,
Zay,
likely had a great game. But then, no, what I wanted to talk about real quick though was Lamar's clear missed throw to Zay Flowers in the end
yeah,
zone that he hit with
yeah,
likely, yes, but he could have avoided it altogether if he hit that throw to Flowers. Granted, it was on the run, his specialty, and Zay Flowers was wide open. You have to hit that. Just at the end of the day, you got to hit that.
yeah. I think no question after that, but I think that's a throw that someone makes when they feel uncomfortable in the pocket. And when you're a quarterback who's uncomfortable in the pocket, that's because you're worried about the pressure that I feel like is coming your way. And that leads obviously to the offensive line. That's why I've always said offensive line, defensive line, those are the two of the most important areas on a team. And even though Lamar can run, he can escape pretty much any defensive player in the NFL. It's going to make him a better thrower of the ball when he's not thinking, well, I have to run, I have to do this, I got to escape, I got to use my legs, where he can have the confidence and sit there. I guarantee you, if Lamar wasn't as pressured as he was, I guarantee you he makes that pass. I'm confident he makes that pass. But it is what it is. I think now Lamar Jackson is what 1-4, I believe, against Patrick Mahomes now.
Yeah, it's not looking good. But you look on the other side, though, I mean, it looks really good. Rashid Rice really emerging as a wide receiver one for the Chiefs, along with
Mhm.
Xavier Worthy right there in the run and passing game. He had an immediate impact with the rushing touchdown and then a passing touchdown. And I don't know if it was on the same drive, but I think he could have had one more. But it's good to see how he's an immediate impact off rip, and that's what you like to see from your young guys, especially.
Yeah, this is without Hollywood Brown. Like you add him, that's another deep threat alongside Xavier Worthy, who was phenomenal. Um, Caught a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. His explosiveness just adds again. We talk about the Chiefs, like Rashid Rice is definitely the wide receiver one. But you look at the speed they have now with Worthy and Hollywood Brown now, who can take the top off. It's going to open up the field even more for Rashid Rice. Oh wait, we can't forget also about one of the greatest tight ends of all time, and Travis Kelce as well.
Mhm.
So the Chiefs look dominant. They're my pick to win it again this year, and I believe they're going to be the first team in NFL history to three-peat. So
Oh, you're going
same
three
old
P.
business with the Chiefs.
He going three P. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Um,
but yeah, moving on. Packers versus Eagles. It was the Brazil game, the San Paulo, down in San Paulo.
that's right.
Obviously, the Eagles did pull it out, close game, 34-29 against the Packers. Jalen Hurts, I thought he was okay. I thought he made some good plays, but also some questionable ones as well. Threw for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a couple picks. Um, Saquon Barkley,
Saquon Barkley is right now the
man,
best running back in the league right now. Obviously, when he's healthy, man, like he goes on a tear, and when he's healthy, he's arguably the best back in the league. So, a great debut from him, man. What he put up 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, the dude is just insane. He carried him on his back, and also I think made up for some of Hurt's mistakes. But at the end of the day, man, you look at that running game, it's going to significantly improve along throughout the season as well.
yeah, Saquon was amazing. I can't believe the Giants let that dude go.
Well, I mean,
They should have
it didn't even seem like he wanted to be there though.
yeah,
Like
that's
look what they're doing, and we're gonna cover them soon. But like, you see what they were, you see where they were going. And
yeah.
no,
Yeah, Saquon was amazing. I think Saquon Barkley, hot take here. I think he's gonna have the same effect or similar, excuse me, effect to what Chris McCaffrey did when he came to the Niners. Just
Mhm.
completely taking this offense to a new level. But one thing I want to speak about real quick with Jalen Hurts, for me, he still doesn't look right. Like I remember just watching him a few years ago till now. Like he looked more quicker, explosive. Like he was getting out the pocket more quicker and escaping. He looks like he's like slower. Like he's
Mhm.
still like kind of nursing an injury for whatever reason. I don't know what specifically it was,
Yeah,
but he doesn't look like the runner he did, a few seasons ago.
no,
Um,
not at all. And honestly, and I seen this on a couple throws, like the decision making, man. Like he's over here getting blown up in the pocket. You're not just gonna go throw it a double coverage and give up a pick. Like it's not the smartest thing to do.
mhm,
I don't know, but granted though, you have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, and granted they both
yeah,
had phenomenal games. AJ had a good game. Like it
mhm.
was a very up and down game for Hurts. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs in that game for him,
Yeah, I
and they
mean,
still pulled out the win.
I still got faith in Jalen Hurts. I want to give it some time, like week 8, week 9, then I will start to be like, yo, what's going on?
Right,
Just overall. But
right.
maybe that's why even they brought in Saquon Barkley because they wanted to take some of the rushing pressure off Jalen
Off,
Hurts for that
yeah,
reason. So,
exactly.
um, yeah, the big takeaway is that Saquon Barkley reminded everyone just how special a talent he is.
Right, and also I wanted to mention too, like the other pick he had was in the red zone. It was he was trying to go cross body. So I
Mhm.
don't know, like, if he's getting antsy in the pocket or what's the deal. And I also seen the tush push clearly doesn't work without Mr. Kelsey. So that's clearly out of the playbook right there. But going on the other side of the ball, Jaden Reed, for freaking weapon, man. 4 catches, 138 yards. Had a good year last year, but I think he's definitely gonna take a next step here. I mean, this is a hell of a start to the season. Josh Jacobs had a decent game, 16 carries, 84 yards. And then Jordan Love went down. I think he's out
three, 3 to 6 weeks. It's
three to
a,
six weeks, but he
it
did have
is
a good game though.
a. I think it's you could fact
No,
check.
no,
I
no.
believe
It's
it's
it's a sprained
MCL,
MCL.
right? Yeah, sprained
Sprained MCL.
MCL. Thank God it was nothing
Yes, he's
worse
gonna.
because I obviously tweeted about it
Yeah.
on the point after Twitter. By the way, go
Mhm.
follow that.
Follow that.
Um, but yeah, thankfully it was nothing worse because at first it looked pretty bad.
No, it
Also,
did
it was
look bad.
great to see Josh Jacobs. Well, it was okay to see Josh Jacobs. Should have.
He's not excited as he was used to seeing Josh Jacobs.
It was
But
just it's just
you
weird.
know
It's just
his,
weird
his
seeing
heart
him.
his heart fluttered a little bit when Josh Jacobs walked across the field and you see the jersey. He's like,
Yeah, it's just weird seeing him in a Packers jersey. Same thing with Khalil Mack.
mm-hmm,
But Josh will look good. He look like he has that spring back, that explosiveness, that quick first step.
yep.
Um, and yeah, again, I mean, they all lost. They
They lost a
lost.
close game.
They lost. Well, no, I'm saying running back wise.
Oh,
They lost Aaron
oh, running back. Yeah.
Jones and
Yes,
replaced
they
him with
did.
Josh
Yep.
Jacobs, who I think as a straight running back, I think is an upgrade when healthy. So
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
um, great to see
And
Josh back.
I just want to touch on real quick. I know Malik Willis came in at the end of the game. He technically had to like throw like the Hail Mary and he took a sack. I mean, don't sweat that. That's the toughest situation I think you could be in. And
Mhm.
I don't think that takes anything away from Malik Willis, but seeing him across these next couple of weeks, he's gonna get the start. So we're gonna see how Malik looks.
Mhm.
Yep. And segueing to next game, we got the Cardinals against the Bills. Bills pick up the late W 34-28. Rough start early, huh?
Yeah, rough stuff early. But Josh Allen being Josh Allen did what he did. I mean, 4 total touchdowns. He was great, man. It's Josh Allen. I
Right.
mean, the guy is phenomenal. Look at the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals, their question clearly is going to be defense. I think this is an offense that's going to put up
Yeah.
points. You
Hey,
look at
even though
James Conner, you look at
Marvin Harrison only had one catch as well. Like they still put up points
yeah,
without even Marvin Harrison going off.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison. You got Trey McBride as well, one of the younger upcoming tight ends in football. But yeah, the Cardinals just can't stop a nosebleed. But yeah, Josh. I mean, what 232 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Uh, was it 9 carries for 39 yards, 2 touchdowns as well.
He had to do it all by himself today, man.
Yeah, it was Superman Josh Allen. I talk a lot about Lamar Jackson kind of have to being Superman for the Ravens. Josh Allen this year, it's going to be real Batman putting on the cape
I say, don't
for
be
this team.
surprised if they catch some losses against some lower level teams, especially like late in games. Especially if they get off to bad starts early, like they did, because man, that in the beginning of the game, the offense just could not get going whatsoever. Josh was having trouble putting drives together. Cardinals were putting points on the board, and then second half it just flip flop, and then
Mhm.
Josh went off. As you can see, when he gets in the running game, he could be very explosive. So, good late win by Buffalo, I think.
Yeah, they're moving on. We got, I think, the biggest upset of the day. The Patriots pulling out against the Bengals, man. That win 16-10.
Man,
Wow.
wow. I did not expect
Yeah,
that. That was not
I
on my
saw
bingo card, brother.
I saw a bet. I'm gonna see if I can find it on ESPN. Oh yeah, so uh, ESPN have said this is the biggest upset since 2018. The Patriots, a 7.5 point underdog, stunned the Bengals. But
Whoa.
yeah, it was a funky game.
Yeah, it's weird.
Brissett was okay. I mean, I think we know what Jacoby Brissett is. He's
Mm.
a backup.
A serviceable quarterback when he's in there, but I think the Patriots were taking a lot what the Bengals were giving them. I don't
Yeah.
think the Patriots are a type of team to put up over 25 points a game. You
No,
know,
of course not.
so yeah.
Nah, but one thing the Patriots have been real solid for a number of years, even when they haven't been good, post Tom Brady. They've been able to have formidable defenses, and their defense was solid today. I think their defense is going to be really good throughout the season. That's the one thing they're going to be able to hang their hat on. And then Stevenson as well at the running back was solid as well. But
Yeah, it was
I got to talk about my man, Mr. Joe Burrow.
a little rough game.
Yeah, my man, Mr. Joe Burrow, man. Tough game. 21 29, 164 yards. Not having T. Higgins. That
It's a big
definitely is a loss. Jamar Chase, he was out there today. But obviously the way his contract situation has gone and him missing camp, but then I think like shows up to practice, but then like leaves like
Mhm.
earlier. Like I don't know, like it's just weird how that the whole practice thing has been with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's a bad
Um,
situation.
yeah, so I think there's definitely a lack of fluidity with the offense, and I think it showed today.
For sure.
But the Bengals do have this tend to kind of have slow starts and they pick up fire and go on a run towards the middle of the season like they've done. So I'm not worried about the Bengals. Obviously, this is it's a wild loss,
Right.
but
But I
um,
mean, that I say O line just needs to get together. I think Joe was still out there running for his life a bit. Um, along with, I think we should keep this in mind, especially with this game being a touchdown so close. There was an overturned touchdown to Gasecki in the end zone that got overturned, and then they fumbled the play after.
mhm.
So just minimal mistakes, and like you said, I do see Bengals always have a slow start.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about the Bengals though.
Nah,
This is still one of the best teams in the AFC, but definitely not the way you want to start a season for sure.
no, not at all. And to move on, next game we got the Vikings against the Giants. And I'll repeat
Daniel
myself.
Jones,
And
man.
hold on. I'm gonna repeat myself, Caleb, against the Giants. While we talk about this topic, against the Giants. I'm gonna say it again one more time. Against the Giants. Okay, you can
Hold
talk
on,
about
wait. I got a question.
you can talk about Sam Darnold now. Okay.
I got a question. What between these three teams, who are you more confident in? The Patriots, the Giants, and the Cardinals.
The Patriots.
Giants and
The
the Cardinals. Out of those three teams, who are you the most confident in?
After today
Yeah, just
and
moving
going off
forward.
of today, I go the
Yeah.
Cardinals
Okay. Okay.
just because of their offense purely. I mean,
Okay.
you could go, um,
K1.
huh?
K1, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, man, the Giants, man. Oof.
They're stinky, man.
Yeah, I'm
It
praying for
doesn't
my
look good for
boy.
them. Daniel
Praying for
Jones looks horrible. I'm gonna just say that right now.
yeah,
Those two
praying
picks were not good.
yeah, praying for my man Malik Neighbors, man. Um
Man,
yeah, I mean, obviously, kind of going to start the game it was kind of interesting. CJ Ham, the Vikings, their fullback, obviously kind of fumbled early. So
yep.
look, at the Giants kind of had an early spark, but that lasted like literally half a second. Sam Darnold, had a pretty decent game. Um, with 208, threw over 200 yards, touchdown, did through one INT. And then as well, man, Aaron Jones, just talked a little bit about him. Obviously moving on from Green Bay, them bringing in Josh Jacobs, but Aaron Jones was solid today too. 14 carries, 94 yards, touchdown, over 6 yards to carry. That's solid, man. And obviously now with their situation with the loss of JJ McCarthy, I think Aaron Jones's dependence in the rushing and receiving game is going to be that more important. But yeah, tough game for Daniel Jones, man. I mean, I feel like we're gonna say that all season long. Um, two picks. One of them was a pick six. Obviously,
Running game couldn't get going whatsoever, dude. Like their
yeah,
offense was non-existent. Malik Neighbors, credit to him though, was able to get 5 catches and 66 yards out of despite the bad quarterback play.
yeah. They have no running game. I wonder why. I think they have someone like Saquon. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, but what
Um,
whoever that guy, I don't know what
yeah,
happened.
yeah. It's tough, but yeah, the Giants are gonna be. They're gonna be in the lottery, looking for lottery tickets. It's
They
gonna
need
be
they need to need to look for a quarterback.
potentially. Obviously now we talk just a little thing. We all know Dak Prescott now is the highest paid player in NFL history. He is not going anywhere. So whoever was on the Dak sweepstakes, my Raiders, that's kind of over with. But I don't know what the Giants are gonna do because yeah, I don't know what to say, bro. They
It's
gotta
looking
they gotta
tough.
figure some stuff out, bro.
It's looking tough for them.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say. But
but
moving on, we got the Titans and the Bears. Bears defense, and I'm gonna specifically say Bears defense picked up the win, 24-17. A big punt block taken back, and then I believe 2 interceptions along with the fumble. So the Bears defense definitely won it for them today. Will Levis had a rough outing to say the least, man. Throwing 2 picks. One of them, I think he got sacked along, and then he just kind of tossed it up. Wasn't very smart. Will Levis definitely has to be smarter with the ball. And to be honest, man, Caleb Williams didn't have a too good of a game either. 14 for 29, only 93 yards. He did rush. He did rush for some yards, but other than that, man, it was a very uneventful game from that offense. It was very much the defense that kept them in the game. But looking at the Titans, man, they were up 17-0 in that game.
hmm, yeah, got it close, but it didn't. Caleb Williams first game. I'm high on Caleb Williams. I think he's a generational quarterback, but like first game, this happens sometimes. At the end of the day, though, he didn't turn over the football. Correct? No interceptions, no fumbles. So at the end of the day, right, he didn't put his team in any harm's way. So
Right.
that's a good thing you can take away. And look, Chicago defense got it done. I think that's a positive thing, right? You can look at, hey, our quarterback did not play great, but we still won the game against a Titans team who, I mean, they're respectable. We talked about their defense, last or 2 episodes ago,
Hmm.
and the offensive weapons they have. So, man, this is a decent football team. So,
No,
um,
100%. And I think, Pollard is definitely a big, standout for them. 16 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. I think
yeah,
that was definitely a bright spot for their offense today, despite, Will Levis's mistakes. But I think once they clean that up, and I think they'll be much better. Like I said, man, they were up 17-0 in this game.
mhm.
But one thing I do want to say was Caleb's decision making was a little questionable. Sometimes he had guys wide open. He wasn't hitting them. He wasn't reading the field. But it all comes with playing time. So it was the first game of the season.
Yeah. Then moving on, man. Out of my Pop's request, we have to talk about the The Saints here.
Have to. We just
We
have
got to bring up the Saints. Well, we got to bring it up because obviously week 1, but I'm saying we got to go a little bit more in depth because obviously my pops is from Louisiana. He's a Saints fan.
That's right.
They absolutely they just completely destroyed, absolutely embarrassed. I mean, whatever acronym, whatever you want to say.
Flamboyantly just killed the Panthers, dude.
Yeah, they destroyed them. It started off Derek Carr, who you gotta give it to Derek Carr, man. He was phenomenal today. But the first earlier play, 59-yard touchdown to Shaheed. He's in my fantasy team. I didn't start him. He was on my bench. I was tripping for that.
You're tripping.
But yeah, Derek Carr was excellent. 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards.
It was very accurate, you know.
Yeah, Kamara looks healthy today. Kamara, we know what he can do in the passing game and the running game, but he's had injuries these last few years, and there has been kind of he's not the same player he once was, but today he looked really good. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Carolina's offense, man, Jesus. I'm praying for Bryce Young. I got faith in Bryce Young as a talent because I believe he is a talented quarterback. But this Panthers team is just there's just not a lot of talent on this offense.
That offensive line just has him running for his damn life, and then he has no time to throw, so it has him force throws, and that's why he has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and then I think Dave Canales, after the game, head coach, he said, "Hey, like I don't know the exact words, but he basically summing it up, say, hey, like this is going to be a process. This is going to be a journey, and it sure looks like it because I think this team is years and years away from being a real competitive team in the NFC. Prayers out to Bryce Young, man. Wish him the best.
Literally, and he's not even injured. Prayers out to Bryce Young. But I want to give Derek Carr his flowers.
DC, yeah, we got to give DC his flowers.
He started the game off hot. But I just want to say this though, like along with Sam Darnold, can y'all do this against another team?
Derek Carr is better than Sam Darnold.
100%. But let's relax. I know it was a blowout, and it's probably against the worst team in the league. So, but credit to Derek Carr, he started off hella hot, throwing all these touchdowns in the beginning of the game. Tapered off a little bit, but let the offense work, and you see.
Yeah, Derek Carr. I mean, that Saints offense was humming. I was telling my pops earlier, I was like, whatever Dennis Allen ate for breakfast, whatever team meeting they did, whatever plays they drew up, whatever pregame music, whatever they did to get prepared for this game, they need to do it the rest of these 16 games. Like
literally,
because this Saints team now, obviously you're not gonna blow out every team every single week, but if this Saints team can play with this kind of rhythm and consistency with both sides, because the defense is top 10, and it's been like that for years now. But the last few years, the offense just hasn't been good. But if this offense can at least be consistent enough to where they can score points, like on 25, 26, like if they can put up formidable points, this is a Saints team that talent-wise, they could sneak into that playoff. Like they got the talent, they have the experience on this roster. There's a lot of experience on this roster on both sides of the ball. But the question is, are we going to see this Saints offense week in and week out be like this? That's a question mark.
That's definitely a question mark, but they need to do a little more involving Olave. I know he didn't get too many touches today.
That's exactly. Like they're going to need Olave. Like he's no doubt. He is their best wide receiver. Mm-hmm. You can make even a case now he's their most important their most important offensive weapon, even with Kamara there as well.
Yeah. With his age, I would say so. But moving on to the next game, Steelers picking up the win. I'd say this is an upset, 18-10 against the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins. Oh my goodness, your decision making today. The decision making today? No, hold on, Caleb. The decision making today was horrible. The way he was staring down his reads was real bad. But 155 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Granted, a lot of bad protection, but I just don't think this was a good game from Kirk at all. Shout out to TJ Watt. He had a phenomenal game. He was all over Kirk Cousins all damn
Hey,
game.
you know
That
what?
D line was torching them all game.
Hold on.
Hold on, and that run game was
Hey,
shut down. Go
hold
ahead.
on, bro.
Go ahead.
There's one player on the defensive side of the ball that I would take over Max Crosby, and that's TJ Watt.
Uh,
T that dude, bro, that dude is different, man. Like I respect, bro. That TJ Watt is something different, man. Yeah, he was dominant.
yeah.
To me, the Falcons, their offense looked like there was like a lot of miscommunications. There was no like the chemistry seemed off. Like they looked like a team that just their offense just had not practiced together. That's what
Right.
they looked like to me. There was like that fumble they had where Kirk Cousins was directing his tight end to come in like on a motion, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was snapped. Like it was just like the snap counts like in the interception. Like it like that the offense just wasn't in sync. And
Right.
but I think practices obviously throughout the season, I think their offense will be better.
No, I think they're definitely
Um,
gonna get going with the flow. I
yeah, but
think that it's kind of
they
like
were
the
just out of sync.
Bengals.
They were out of sync.
Oh, 100%. I agree. You could just tell, but like at the end of the day, when you look on the other side of the ball, the Steelers' offense wasn't that good either. Najee
Yeah.
Harris carried them. Fields didn't do too much. I mean, he didn't look too bad in the 2-minute drill going into the half. It ended with a field goal, but just struggling to finish off drives, struggling on third downs. But shout out to Najee Harris, man. I feel like he doesn't get a lot of credit. So he held a lot on his back in this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Didn't see a lot of Jalen Warren.
Yeah, no, I didn't see a lot of him either.
Because Jalen Warren, RB1 over Najee, like that was kind of like you know what I
I thought
mean.
that was the consensus.
Yeah, but obviously Najee was solid today. Hopefully get to see Jalen Warren, more involved next game. I'm sure he will be. But
Easily.
yeah, you kind of have a conundrum, right? Do we? You said Russell Wilson's the Mike Thomas said Russell Wilson's the guy, but obviously Russell Wilson was a no go because he had the calf,
That's
had the
right.
calf issue. So Justin Fields was a go today. You know, Justin Fields clearly there's still a lot of development that needs to happen with him as a thrower of the football.
Yeah.
Um, so I think Russell Wilson after this game, I think Russell Wilson is definitely going to be QB1.
Mhm.
But we talked about it. I think it's gonna be good for Justin Fields to kind of sit back and watch Russell Wilson and pick his brain and become a better quarterback because Justin Fields, the raw talent is there, but his mechanics still are a work in progress.
It is definitely a work in progress. But moving on,
Oh yeah, here we
we
go.
got
All
next
right.
game.
So
I'll let you
we
take
got
this one.
yeah. So we the Jaguars in Miami against the Dolphins. Dolphins pulled out a quick not I say quick game. Pulled out a close one. I can't even talk, bro.
Jaguars.
2017.
I'll finish. I'll finish it for you. Jaguars choked at the end of the day. I'll just say that Trevor Lawrence
I'm
capered
sorry,
off
bro.
in the
I just
second
the
half.
Raiders, but I like them. But,
I
yeah,
know.
Dolphins win 2017. Not gonna get into what happened when Tyreek Hill happened this morning. Prayers that it wasn't
Jesus.
anything worse.
Yeah.
But his celebration in the end zone that was insane. That was
That's it
crazy.
like this.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Um, it's kind of crazy. Like you look at Tua, right? He had his struggles early,
Mhm.
but then towards the end of the game, you look up and he has over 300 yards. Tyreek has over 100. Waddle has over 100. So they obviously kind of got it going later. Also, though, shout out to BTJ, man. He was solid first game, 4 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Clearly, I think Trevor Lawrence has found his number one guy early. But Jaguars kind of struggled throughout the game on third downs, and it clearly showed in the second half. They just couldn't convert. They couldn't make that extra play. That's the kind of question I have with the Jaguars this year. Um, does this team are they going to make enough plays when they need to close out these kind of games?
Exactly.
And that's why I just don't know about the Jaguars this year, man. I'm a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence. I'm obviously a huge fan of BTJ, but this Jaguars team, I just don't know if they have enough. Even though it's week 1. But
Yeah, no, even though it's week 1, man, it's definitely a concern. I feel like, Trevor Lawrence, he had a good start, decent start to the game. He had that touchdown to beat BTJ, and then the offense just tapered off, and it was
mhm.
non-existent for the rest of the second half. And then you see Miami creeping, and then you see no urgency from the Jaguars. So I think there's definitely some work need to be done there. Shout out to Tyreek and Waddle. That's a hell of a duo there. Tua missed some throws, some deep throws in the beginning of the game. Guys were wide open, but as you can see, he got it along, he got it together, and he got the W. So shout out to Tua.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. And Caleb, man, what we got next, man? This was a good game, man. I enjoyed this game.
Yeah, this was one of the. I think this is probably what the best game today.
I say almost game of the week so far, besides the Chiefs and the Ravens, because that was a good game as well.
Yeah, that was solid. Yeah, no real talk. Yeah, this is good. Texans pulled it out late, 29-27. Man, it was great to see Anthony Richardson, man, back out there healthy, man. I was telling my pops,
Man,
he gives me young Cam Newton vibes.
he really does.
Like the arm talent is just insane.
You
Uh,
see, you see off the
yeah,
back foot
that's
to Alec Pierce, pressure in his face, and
yeah,
he just
yeah,
it just looked like the flick of the wrist.
yeah. He's physically
Disgusting.
gifted, and his ability to also how he can run and escape, hard to bring down as well. He was incredible. Great to see him back and healthy. But even CJ Stroud made some highlight plays. That throw he made on that fourth down to Brevin Jordan, where he literally slipped to his knees and made the throw, that was phenomenal.
That dude, bro.
But CJ Stroud basically carried off from last year. I mean, 24 of 32, 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon was phenomenal as well. 30 carries on
30
week one.
carry,
That's a lot. That's
30
a
carry.
lot.
But hey, I expect Damian Pierce to take a little more of the bump next game for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 30 carries is a lot, but Joe Mixon was efficient, 159 yards and a touchdown. Diggs had a few touches as well. Had 2 touchdowns. Obviously, wasn't incredibly involved with the offense, but he did have the 2 touchdowns.
Get
And
your
I think
get your
Diggs,
money.
yeah, well, and plus Diggs is in a situation where Tank Dell,
You gotta
Nico
share. You
Collins,
gotta share.
you got to
You
share
gotta
the
share the
sugar,
load.
man.
You
You
know.
know what I'm saying? But I think Diggs will have he'll be more involved moving forward, and
And
the
plus,
yards
you gotta
those
build you
those are
gotta
stacked.
build that rapport with Stroud in game time,
Yeah,
right? Along with Nico Collins, who's I
yeah, he
think
was
is clear.
phenomenal.
I think he's clear wide receiver one as of right now. 6 catches, 117 yards.
He was great, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was great. But that's the thing though. It's like as a quarterback, you want those kind of weapons, like, and that's the thing too. So it's like, God forbid, you don't want to see it happen. But let's say Nico Collins would go down, then Diggs is there, or
Tank
if
Dell
Diggs
gonna
goes
step up.
down, yeah, then you got Tank Dell can step or Nico Collins there. Like, obviously, we don't want no
We don't
injuries,
want no.
none of that kind of stuff. But the depth they have now, wide receiver is like it's crazy, and you can never have enough weapons. So
I heard
yeah,
the
Texas,
mail.
yeah.
You can never
But
have enough.
also AR, like you said, nine for 19, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns to throw a pick. Also ran for 56 yards and a touchdown. So I got a new name for Anthony Richardson. I'm gonna call him Baby Cam.
Baby Cam, okay.
Yeah,
Baby Cam, I like that. But no,
yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah.
I think that Colts offense looked very explosive. Shout out to Alec Pierce. He had a phenomenal game. I think the Colts are very like big play oriented. Probably be down a few plays or down a few possessions, but they'll come back. They'll make a big play and be right back in it.
Hmm.
So I think Colts along going this year, they're gonna catch some good wins against some good teams, and this was a phenomenal division game too. This was a divisional.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about your boy Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, man, why you talk about my boy Bo Nix? But nah, I didn't think Bo Nix had too good of a game today. Unfortunately, very up and down. 135 yards, 2 interceptions. Ooh, it's looking rough. But Gino on the other side had a good game.
Bro, did Gino look quick on that run, bro? I had never seen Gino run that fast.
He's probably taking the stem cell treatment, bro. You know what I'm saying? But
Uh,
nah, I'll just fight. No, Gino looked crazy fast. It was a good win for the Seahawks.
yeah.
Nothing too much to take away from that game besides Gino's 34-yard run, and then Kenneth Walker being a beast, 103 yards and a touchdown. But besides that, Broncos offense just couldn't get going. Too many mistakes. You're with the rookie quarterback.
Put in
Your
Zach
weapon,
Wilson.
Huh?
Put in Zach Wilson.
I don't know about all that, man. Zach Wilson, I don't know about all that.
But nah, yeah, Bo Nix, similar to with Caleb Williams, kind of struggling first outing out. But they kept it close though. But I think this is just a Broncos team just bereft with a lot of talent. Javonte Williams, good to see him fully healthy and back from the injury. We talked about it a few years ago. But I mean, Tim Patrick's gone, Jerry Judy's gone. I mean, you're looking at Cortland Sutton. I mean, is even Cortland Sutton? I didn't even see Cortland Sutton on it. Was he out there?
I don't even know.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a wide receiving group around Bo Nix that definitely has to develop and grow together. But I predicted the Seahawks to win this game. The Seahawks are a better team. I think they have more aspirations than the Broncos this year. They're trying to make the playoffs. The Broncos, I think, are just trying to build a culture. They're trying to build, a young, promising team for the years to come. So Seahawks did what they were supposed to do.
No, the Seahawks definitely did their thing, man. My computer is glitching, so I will get back to y'all for that. For Sutton. But to move on. Who cares, honestly? But basically, Sutton was non-existent whether he was out there or not. But Cowboys and the Browns. Yeah. Cowboys whooping that ass, 33-17. Wow. Deshaun Watson, where are you, sir? Deshaun Watson, where are you? Because
hey, bro, chill out.
This guy is, man. I don't. This ain't the guy they got from Houston. Am I wrong?
No, look, it's definitely hard watching Deshaun Watson play right now because you just picture him in Houston and what he was. He was incredible. But yeah, he just looks like the shadow of the player he was. And look, he had the injury last year that kept him out. And obviously, we knew about what happened off the field as well that kept him out. So I think the one defense he has is that he hasn't played consistent football, and he is coming off an injury. So maybe with more reps, he can get better. I'm holding out that kind of hope because I want to see Deshaun Watson at his best. Because when he's at his best, it's a great thing to see because he's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in football. But yeah, it seems like every time you watch Deshaun now, you're just like, man,
it's like what's going on with him? Like
he just
looks out of it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but Cowboys defense made some plays. They committed some turnovers. Dak and that offense didn't have to do a whole lot.
No,
it's great to see Zeke out there, man, getting a touchdown, man.
Yeah,
I need to see all the Zeke hate. Please let the Zeke hate drop. Zeke is still productive. Thank you very much.
4 yards per carry.
That's not bad, bro.
Shout out to CD, 5 catches, 61 yards. Dak Prescott, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. Like you said, the offense really didn't have to do much today against the Browns team who's clearly going to have some struggles, especially without Nick Chubb. That running game got a little scarce as well.
Yeah, the Browns are, I feel like they could be in a situation where maybe the Raiders are in, where you look at their quarterback and you're kind of like, and then obviously without Nick Chubb, that hurts. But you're counting on, basically what I'm saying is you're counting on your defense to kind of win you games.
Yeah.
I think when Nick Chubb does come back though, I think this offense will be more better. I think Deshaun will be better when Nick Chubb comes back, just because his presence alone. Like, people are going to stack the box against Nick Chubb. I think that's going to open up the field more for Deshaun Watson. So I'm going to judge the Browns when Nick Chubb comes back and he's fully acclimated to the offense.
All right. Now I hear it, and I agree. And let's move on to the last game of the show.
Baker.
Got Baker going off.
Baker
going crazy.
Baker's nice, bro. Hey, Baker's been ever since he's gone against
against a good Washington defense too.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Baker, man. He looks like the number 1 overall pick now. He looks like that guy now. He was phenomenal. 24 of 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Phenomenal of a game. Evans and Godwin, I think we don't talk about them enough as one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Especially because Godwin's been hurt,
Yeah, I mean Mike Evans 5 for 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. Godwin 8 for 80, a touchdown. They were great. I'm gonna talk about my man Jaden Daniels. Um, I love Jaden Daniels, what he did for LSU, and I believe in Jaden Daniels. I thought my team was gonna draft him on draft night. Um, but talking about rookie quarterbacks, just recently talked about Bo Nix and obviously Caleb Williams earlier. Uh, I think it's just first game rookie quarterback going against the elite of the elite. You know, you're not going against
Yeah.
second strings and third strings no more. These are the starters. These are the guys who are playing 90% of the time. So
Yeah.
he just looked like a rookie out there. But again, you saw his rushing ability
Man,
to
he's
get out the
crazy
pocket.
elusive.
Exactly. So that's already there as well. And I think as with one more time and with the weapons they have, they're in Washington. Obviously, we know about Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson Jr. as well, running back. I think this is over time. You'll start to really see Jaden Daniels, the passer, get better. But we know that him running the football. That's an obvious. He can do that with his eyes closed.
You ain't wrong, man. You ain't wrong. But credit to Bucks defense for shutting them down early and getting
Yeah.
up early.
Mhm.
You know, Baker and the offense went down from the beginning of the game, started
Yeah.
scoring, and then Washington just couldn't climb back. It was a little too late.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Bucks, man. I'm kind of looking at the NFC South, and I'm like, Atlanta. Okay, still got faith in Atlanta. They're my division pick, but the Saints, the Bucks, who did win the division last year. I mean, that NFC South could get interesting down the line.
I feel like it definitely could be close with the records.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. You never know. But I think that's just gonna cap off the show today, my man. That was your guys' week 1 review for today. This is coming out on Tuesday. And then tomorrow you guys will be getting the Rams and Lions review along with the Jets and Niners review, and then a week 2 preview. Solid.
Oh, and also too, after that, we're also gonna have in episode 10, we're gonna have our week 1 overreactions. Yeah, week 1
Uh-oh.
overreaction.
The
Nah, but
overreaction.
my man, how you feeling about the game tomorrow, man? You sound a little nervous.
I know you did not just got me nervous, man.
Nah.
No, I think it's looking good. I think you got Trent Williams back. I think he's definitely going to be a little rusty. I think he's definitely not going to play the whole game. He will take some plays off. You know, maybe if it's like a 11 play, 12 play drive, then you're going to pull Williams. You know, you don't want him to get hurt while coming back as well. But you know, you signed Ayuk, you got Debo, you got that wide receiver room, you got Purdy. And Williams does make that O line go from a straight F to a C. So the O line isn't as terrible as in preseason, and obviously that defense is substantial. So
Nah, yeah, it's gonna be an exciting game. I think it's gonna be talked about how good the Ravens and Chiefs games was. This has the potential to be better. Especially, Aaron Rodgers coming back to California. Obviously, went to Cal Berkeley, so coming back. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers. It kind of feels like now
he always loves playing us.
Yeah, now it's his first season. It feels like his first real season now with the Jets.
Yeah.
And with the weapons he has, the defense, the improved offensive line, and obviously the Niners are kind of situation with the offseason how it's went with the contracts, but now they're all back. So there's some storylines here, man.
For sure. Absolutely.
Exciting. I'll definitely be tuned in, bro. I will be calling you throughout the game. Be like, hey, yo.
I already know.
Niners aren't looking so good, bro.
Hey. You ain't gonna be saying that. Relax on that.
It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And we're gonna get back to y'all. Y'all gonna catch this episode on Tuesday. Y'all go ahead and like and subscribe. Everything is in the description. And then you guys will catch the next episode. And that'll be tomorrow for Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Peace.
Peace.